Welcome back, Guardian Shadowkiller here, and on today's episode of DTR, we are going to go over the vendor weekly reset for this week. So, let's go take a look at what Executor Hideo has for this week. Now, unfortunately, this week is not a good week for him. The only two weapons I would recommend out of this week is the Impeacher 5. Comes with reactive reload, hand-loaded, relentless tracker, lightweight, and armor-piercing rounds. Gives you true sight and fast draw and quick draw. Just because of the reactive reload, gain more damage, and hand loaded increases that range with the armor piercing rounds with a little bit of extra range. The other weapon for this week that I would recommend getting and wanting if you want to try out is the First Citizen. This is a highest fire rate LMG. Now it has hidden hand, perfect balance, or crowd control, flare magwell, quick draw. It has accurized ballistics, smart drift control, and soft ballistics. Now this gun is really close to the god roll that I had mentioned previously on some other episodes. If you have smart drift control and couple that with perfect balance and you have counterbalance, this gun is a really good weapon. Plus also you can roll high caliber rounds here. But for a fun weapon to try out, you have hidden hand, perfect balance, smart drift control. I would give this one a shot. Because it's a weapon that isn't seen that much in Destiny. So with that, let's head over to the Crucible. So we're back here with Archie at the Crucible Quartermaster. Let's take a look at what he brought this week. So for the weapons this week, the Palindrome is a decent weapon. It comes in with Rangefinder, Hammer Forge, and Icarus. It starts out with steady hand, but you do get sure shot IS. So if you haven't gotten a Palindrome yet, I would try picking this one up with the combination of the three right here. So for the next weapon, we have the Each New Day. Reason why I'm suggesting this is because this is very close to the God roll I've been suggesting throughout the couple weeks. You have Hidden Hand, you have Braced Frame, you have Hip Fire, you have Life Support, with the bonus of Aim Assist. So you have a huge stability bump, you'll lose one bullet in the magazine, and you have Hidden Hand. It's good. You have your hip fire, and you have your life support, whichever one you choose to prefer. But if you have counterbalance, oh man, I would love to test this weapon out with counterbalance with Braced Frame. But if you have legendary marks, try it out. It's a good roll. So for the next weapon, we have the 44 Curtain Call. We have crowd control, rifle barrel, we have knee pads, and every other ballistic does not give you any range, but with rifle barrel, it will max out your range. So you can slide, shotgun, and just continue to stack with the bonus damage in PvE or PvP. Next, you have the Event Horizon. You have Hidden Hand, you have Snapshot, you have Army of One, and there's View Tactic SLL20, and there's Taxis. This is an okay weapon. You have the Army of One with the Snapshot and the Hidden Hand for PvP or PvE, whichever one you choose. That's the only thing I would recommend it for. Now we have the Chaotic Neutral with Rangefinder, Perfect Balance, Pen and Mag, Hipfire, Army of One, Aggressive, Smooth Ballistics, and Field Choke. I would go with Smooth Ballistics, use Army of One, use Perfect Balance, and Rangefinder. It's a solid roll for this week. The Something Wicked has tracking, has perfect balance, has javelin, it has the Grenadier, it has life support, it has warhead veneers. So the only other one is hard launch. So it already has the max blast radius and velocity it can have. So you pick and choose between Grenadier, life support, and javelin. You have the highest blast radius and fast velocity that this rocket launcher of this type can have. So with that, let's head over to Dead Orbit. So we're over here with Arak Jalal. Let's see what weapons he brought this week. So for this week, I can recommend the Extremophile. It comes with counterbalance, perfect balance, and quick draw. If you want a little bit of extra range, you can use armor piercing rounds with MD reflex, the quick draw IS, and the OEG rifled scope. Whatever scope you prefer here, use any one you want, but it has counterbalance and perfect balance. That's a good roll for this week. Now for the next weapon to recommend, I'm going to be saying the Last Ditch. You have Rangefinder, you have Small Bore to help out with range and stability. Your magazine will go down to 4, I believe. Use hip fire because then that'll make it very accurate when in air as well. And the only barrel that you want to go with is a linear compensator. All the other ones lower something, the range or the impact. So I would recommend that. Now, for the last one, it is the Bitter Edge. It's a very low impact sniper rifle, but it comes with Firefly, life support, armor piercing rounds, quick draw, and hammer forge. You obviously want to go quick draw, life support, and Firefly. You have the almost like weird scope. I don't know how. Never used it really. And you get the long view SLR10, which is a good zoom. I used to use this before the short gaze. And the Taxis, if you like that kind of red, it's kind of like the what is that one called? The Icebreaker scope is what the Taxis scope is. So if you're used to this one, use it because you get a stability bump. But I would just use the long view just because of the shorter zoom in. So with that, let's head over to the Vanguard. So we're here with Ronnie, the Vanguard Quartermaster, and let's see what he brought this week. So for this week, I would recommend picking up the Angel's Advocate. It comes up with Firefly, braced frame, which is a good stability bump. It'll bring it down to I think about 12 bullets in the clip. Then you have high caliber round, you have Icarus, you have Zen Moment, you have Red Dot ORA, and the OEG sight. So this is a good weapon in general for PvE or PvP, just depending on which one you want to go with. So for the next weapon, How Dare You? The only reason why I'm suggesting this one is because it has rangefinder and it has rifle barrel. And you can go mulligan or spray and play. And the highest stability possible with this steady hand IS. So you could kind of spam it a little bit with max range that this gun can get. Now on to the next weapon. The X Astris. This is a unique fusion rifle. It needs 6 bolts to kill, but you do have rangefinder to increase the range. You have braced frame, and you have unflinching. This is a good combination with a sight that gives you aim assist. So if you want to test this out in the Crucible or Vanguard, in the Vanguard Strikes, you know, in PvE, go ahead and try it. I'd say it's a weapon to have fun with for the last little bit of Destiny 1. You have the Occam's Razor. Now the only reason why I'm recommending this is because it has full auto. It has reinforced barrel. You have Battle Runner, and you can choose between CQB ballistics or soft ballistics to get the highest range and have full auto. In PvE, if it's like for this one, since it's an arc burn, this gun will shred just like the Fourth Horseman. It's a baby Fourth Horseman. So if you don't want to use up an exotic slot, you can use this one instead of the Fourth Horseman. Next, we have the Seventh Sense. You have unflinching, perfect balance, grenader, or life support with long view. Now this isn't the god roll, but you know, unflinching for PvP, PvE, you have perfect balance for it being more steady, and PvE, you can use grenader, and same with life support, and both of these are good in PvP or PvE, so if you want to test out this weapon, give it a shot. Now the Bone Crusher, this is a good roll. You have crowd control, you have small bore. It'll drop it down to I think about 22, but it shoots really slow, so it's not that bad. Plus it comes with Feeding Frenzy, the all important thing here. And you have aggressive ballistics for maximum impact, but you also have smart drift control, so you can get a huge stability bonus, or if you want a little bit more range, you can go with Field Choke. This one I would highly recommend, just because it is a really strong PvE and PvP weapon. Now, for the disassembly acquired, it comes with grenades and horseshoes, a heavy payload, vacuum, last resort, soft launch, confined launch, and countermass. Now, you go with soft launch and you go with heavy payload for proximity detonation. It's the only reason why I'm suggesting this weapon. These two perks are kind of useless, but other than that, if you want a fun proximity detonated rocket, give that one a shot. Give it a shot. So with that, let's head over to the Future War Cult. So we're here with Lakshmi from the Future War Cult. So let's take a look. So for the first weapon that I would recommend would be the Whale. The whale, this would be a fun PvE weapon with Firefly, perfect balance, explosive rounds, and you have steady hand IS. You have sure shot, but you might lose a little bit of stability, but you do have that perfect balance to give you that stability. So this would just be a fun weapon for PvE. See enemies explode, and explosive rounds help take off shields a lot quicker in PvE. So yeah, if you don't have that weapon, I'd say pick it up for this week. So the weighting. The weighting is a unique weapon. It does 49 damage a bolt. It can still 4-bolt someone if their armor's low enough. But it's your choice. You have hidden hand, you have small bore, you have accelerated coils, you have quick draw, and you have reflex, the sight that gives you aim assist. So you could go quick draw, you can go small bore. You'll go down to 4 bullets in the magazine. That'll be fine. And then you have hidden hand and accelerated coils. So if you want a faster charge rate, it'll make it a guaranteed 5-bolt killer. Whereas what it is right now is, depending on the armor of your enemy that you're shooting, it'll be a 4-bolt kill. So if they have lower armor, it'll be 4-bolt. If it's high armor, like a Max Striker Titan, it'll take 5. So to your choosing, but this is a decent rule for this week for a high impact fusion rifle if you already don't have one. Now the wounded never ceases to amaze me, just because it always brings a good roll. It's never a bad roll. So you have Firefly, you have perfect balance, you have triple tap, you have quick draw, and you have a good sight. All the other 2 sights, the OEG and the focus lens, are not that good. So the MD reflex is a good sight for this weapon. Quicker handling, you have higher stability, and like to say this PvP, and then PvE, go to triple tap with Firefly. It's a good weapon. Now the Wormwood is a good roll this week. You got yourself reactive reload. You have hand loaded for the extra a little bit of range. You can use quick draw if you want it to be even snappier when swapping weapons and drawing it out. Or you could use the arm piercing rounds for increased range, that little bit of increased range. You have steady hand, you have fast draw, and you have quick draw. I would just stay with the steady hand for optimized recoil. And yeah, because when you get this reactive reload procced, it will melt people in the Crucible really quickly. It's a niche weapon, but if you have the ammo, it's good. In PvE, it's also really good because you're always going to have time to reload and get adds. But I'd probably recommend quick draw over the arm piercing rounds. So quick draw, hand loaded, and reactive reload. Now, onto the next weapon, the Warpath. Now, the Warpath this week, I think, is the rocket launcher to get. It doesn't have the highest velocity, but it has, in my opinion, the best combination of perks. Like, I think this is the best combination you can have, except for you just need a better barrel attachment, unfortunately. So it comes with confined launch, smart drift control, and hard launch. You'd want to use hard launch here. Gives you the most velocity and blast radius. It comes with field scout, quick draw, heavy payload, tripod, and tracking. This is a monster for PvE and PvP because tracking, yes, it may not track the fastest, but in PvE it doesn't really matter that much because like it will hit the target. PvP maybe a little bit, but the fact that you can have tripod and field scout in PvP will guarantee you to pull 3 rockets every single time. And for PvE, it'll allow you to hit maximum capacity at, I think, holding 8 rockets. So you can hold 8 rockets with this combination with tracking, and it'll hit the target every time. So you can fire off 3, and the fire rate is fast enough too. So you can just fire off 3, reload, fire off another 3, reload, fire off another 2. If you're trying to do DPS on a boss or an ad. So I think I would highly recommend picking up this rocket launcher. This one would be a really fun weapon to use for the last week of Destiny. So with that said, that's going to be it for this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below. Let's get the chat going. And subscribe for more Destiny and Destiny 2 content. Take it easy, Guardians. Shadow out.